A replicant Blade Runner known as K discovers a box containing the remains of the Tyrell Corp replicant Rachel, who died giving birth to a child. K is tasked to find the child and retire it. Nyander Wallace, a replicant manufacturer, wants to find the child to find out how to expand his replicants off-world. He sends his replicant assistant Love to follow K as he tracks down the child. K meets Rick Deckard, the former Blade Runner who has gone into hiding after giving his and Rachel's child up. Love finds the two and kidnaps Deckard to bring him back to Wallace. Despite Wallace trying to use a copy of Rachel to convince Deckard to help him, he refuses. K finds Deckard and rescues him after killing Love, but he sustains serious wounds in the fight. Deckard and Rachel's daughter is Dr. Anna Stelling, a memory designer who secretly implanted her own memories into K's mind, which made him believe he was Deckard and Rachel's son. K is implied to die, while Deckard goes to meet Anna for the first time. Today I will show you the recap of the movie called Blade Runner 2049, released in 2017. The replicants were humanoid robots designed by the Tyrell Corporation to be used for slave labor due to their enhanced strength. Some replicants became dangerous and were sent off-world. In the mid-2020s, an event known as the Blackout occurred and devastated society, until an industrialist named Nyander Wallace, Jared Leto, came forward and produced a solution to end famine. Wallace manufactures new replicants, while some of the older Nexus 8 models are still active. Those sent to eliminate, or retire, those replicants are known as Blade Runners. California 2049, a replicant detective, Officer K, Ryan Gosling, travels to a farm operated by a Nexus 8 replicant named Sapper Morton, Dave Bautista. Sapper knows K is there to bring him in or retire him. He takes out a knife to attack K before throwing him through a wall. After a fight, K prepares to retire Sapper, who says he knows what K is and mentions that he has never witnessed a miracle before. K shoots Sapper dead. K leaves the house and reports to his superior, Lieutenant Joshi, Robin Wright. One of K's scanners then picks up a box buried next to a tree outside Sapper's house. K undergoes a post-trauma baseline test to ensure he hasn't been emotionally compromised and can continue to perform his duties without complications. He goes to his apartment that he shares with Joy, Ana de Armas, a holographic program that serves as K's girlfriend. He gives her an emanator so that she can be with him outside the apartment. They go outside in the rain when K receives a message from Joshi regarding the contents of the box. K returns to the station where Joshi and two forensics experts examine what was inside the box, the bones and hair of a woman who died giving birth to her child. A replicant serial number is then spotted on the bones, to the surprise of Joshi. She orders K to find the child and retire it for fear of what might happen should the child fall into the wrong hands. K goes to the Wallace Corporation to identify the replicant using the DNA samples provided. K meets Wallace's replicant assistant, Love, Sylvia Hoax, and they play a recorded message from the replicant's memory archive. The replicant was Rachel, Sean Young, and the man she is heard speaking to was Rick Deckard, Harrison Ford. K meets with Deckard's old partner Gaff, Edward James Olmos. Gaff says that Deckard has long since retired, finally being alone like he always wanted. Wallace creates a new female replicant that he quickly kills shortly after she is born. He has learned about the child born from Rachel and a human, something he has not been able to do himself with other female replicants in an attempt to expand his brand off-world. Wallace orders Love to go out and follow K as he looks for the child. In the city, a replicant named Freysa, Hayam Abbas, alerts 3 human prostitutes to Kay's presence. The 3 approach him, but he is not interested in either of them. One of the girls, Mariette, Mackenzie Davis, stays behind to chat with Kay briefly. Love gets into the police department's forensics lab to recover Rachel's bones. One of the doctors, Coco, David Dastmalchian, sees her, and she kills him by chopping the back of his neck and causing him to choke on his own blood. Kay returns to Sapper's farm where he finds a date written down somewhere, 6/10/21. This triggers a memory involving a wooden toy horse. He then burns down Sapper's house. When he gets back home, he mentions the date to Joy, who says Kay has told her this story. The memory in question shows Kay as a young boy being chased by another group of boys at an orphanage who wanted the toy horse. He threw it in a furnace and was beaten afterward. Kay flies to a junkyard with Joy to locate the source of the memory. Scavengers hook onto Kay's vehicle with a kite, which gets hit by lightning and causes it to crash down. The scavengers try to attack Kay, but he manages to fight back and kill a few. Missiles then start raining down, sent by Love to get the scavengers away from Kay. He then proceeds further through the yard to find a group of children in an orphanage. The head of the orphanage, Mr. Cotton, Lenny James, finds Kay and leads him to the furnace where he finds the toy horse that was thrown in there. The same date is written on its hoof. Back home, Kay analyzes 2 birth records he recovered, with Joy looking on with him. When he finds a match, he determines that the boy and girl twins were born, but only the boy survived. Kay visits Dr. Anna Stelline, Carla Jury, a memory designer contained in a room behind a glass wall. She explains to Kay how she can implant memories, but it is illegal to do so on replicants. Anna demonstrates her work by creating a scenario involving kids at a birthday party. With this information, Kay starts to think the memory of the toy horse is really his own, and that he might be Rachel's son. Kay undergoes the baseline test again, but fails it this time. Joshi suspends Kay before he lies to her, and says that his mission to retire the child has been completed. Kay returns home where Joey has invited Mariette to come over, so that Joey may sync herself to Mariette's body for Kay to enjoy a more authentic experience with her. After Kay sleeps with Mariette, she plants a tracking device in his jacket. Love finds Joshi in her office and questions her about Kay's whereabouts. Joshi pours herself a drink, but Love crushes the glass in Joshi's hand. Joshi won't say a word and knows what's about to happen. Love stabs Joshi to death and uses her body to get into her security system to locate Kay. Kay visits a man called Doc Badger, L.A.P.D, to inspect the toy horse. It is discovered that the horse contains traces of radiation that lead Kay to his next location. Kay goes to the ruins of Las Vegas. He comes across a large home with a booby trap that he manages to step over. Kay sees a dog and then hears the voice of Deckard from behind him. Deckard aims a gun at Kay's head. Kay gets away from Deckard and runs into a room that features holographic projections of Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe. Deckard fights Kay until they decide to stop and have a drink. Kay asks Deckard about Rachel and what they did with their child. Deckard says he left the child at the orphanage for fear over what someone like Wallace would do to the child if they found out how it was born. Before Deckard can say more, Love and other Wallace agents arrive and attack. Deckard is taken while Love crushes Joy's emanator to get rid of her, and she leaves Kay for dead. Deckard is brought to the Wallace Corporation to speak with Wallace in helping him with continuing replicant reproduction. He even brings out a replicant made to look like Rachel to convince him. Deckard refuses, and Love executes the Rachel copy Tay is found thanks to the tracking device. He meets the replicant freedom movement team, led by Frisia, with Mariette being part of it as well. Frisia says she knows of the child, revealing it to be a girl. From all the clues mentioned earlier, it is shown that Anna is really Deckard and Rachel's daughter, with Kay being somewhat disappointed that it wasn't him. He realizes that she really did implant a memory of hers in his mind, making him a complete replicant. Frezia then tells Kay to prevent Wallace from learning any more of replicant reproduction, even if it means killing Deckard. Kay is walking alone, back home, when he sees a gigantic holographic ad for another Joy program. It appears as though she is really speaking to him, even if he knows it's not true. This does end up inspiring him to complete his task. Love takes Deckard to head to one of Wallace's off-world outposts to torture him. Kay intervenes and sends their flight pods down near a body of water. Kay fights Wallace's goons before going to save Deckard. Love attacks and fights Kay, stabbing him in the side. The pods then start to take in water, with Deckard going under. Kay gains the upper hand and holds Love underwater until she drowns. He then pulls Deckard out, but makes it look like he died so that Wallace can't find him. Kay takes Deckard to Anna's office so he can finally meet her. As Deckard walks inside, Kay lies down on the steps to look up at the falling snow, knowing his wounds are fatal. Deckard comes upon Anna's room and stares in astonishment as he sees his daughter for the first time. If you enjoy this movie and are willing to see more, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on so you never miss our future video. And until next time, thank you for watching. Take care and stay healthy.